Hello there. It's Harrison Bird with Eternity's Requiem once again. Um, I'm back because I've made some interesting progress on Project Torment so far. So as you can see here, there's a lot more. Well, not a lot more, but there is more going on with my um, blueprint in Unreal Engine 5 now. There's a lot more going on than there was last time, I believe, because last time I think I had basic movement, UI, and camera control. So now I have more complex movement, which you can't really see what's going on in there right now. You can kind of read it. Anyway, again, this is what our character is. This is the player character right here. Just this capsule. That's it. With the weapon attached, the butcher. But it's very simple. No actual model, because I'm not a modeler, and I don't think it's essential for the type of game. Anyway, I'm going to show off what I have now. The reticle is still the same. This is still floaty, but that's fine. Still spinny. I can walk around. I can move around. I can look around. I can crouch and move. And if you notice, crouching is slower than the normal walk speed, so it's better represented this way. And so there's two things. Crouching and walking off the edge. You won't fully walk off the edge, which is really nice, and I wanted that specifically as a feature. I can jump. Jumping is a little strange. I'm going to change things about it to hopefully get it to feel better. But you can also jump and crouch. It's not very noticeable since there's not any point of reference in the sky, so you can't tell you're actually crouching when you jump. And once you're crouching, you can't jump, which makes sense. But yeah, I have since added crouch and jumping to the game. One thing that I haven't added, and I don't know if I will, is sliding. Obviously, there's no sliding. I don't think I will be adding it, at least not for the demo level. It might be added sometime in the future. It might be added for full release. I'm not sure. I'll have to get a feel for the overall game, which I haven't established that with myself yet. I do want it to be dark and I do want it to be gritty, but I don't know if I want it to be something where people go fast, or if I want it to be a more casual kind of, not casual, I guess, but I don't know if I want people to speed through the levels with what sliding would add, because sliding would have to be fast, and I don't know if I want that to be a feature. I know that the running, or the full speed movement that I have, I do want that to be slightly faster. I also want crouching to be a little slower. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with this. One thing that I also would want to add is the bunny hopping, as it's considered in Doom and other old games, where you jump and you can actually go faster, depending on how frequently you jump. One of the games that's a huge inspiration for this project, Painkiller, from way back in 2004, that game has a form of bunny hopping. I mean, so does Doom. Or Doom doesn't really, because you can't jump. But Painkiller absolutely has that, and I would love to add it to this game. And in Painkiller, you can jump repeatedly, and you'll go faster. And the problem with me doing that here is the jump is way too high and slow. The jump is very, like, it's almost slow-mo, it feels like, or moon gravity. Not sure why. I'll have to mess with some things, I'm sure. But yeah, so I've added crouching and jumping to Project Torment. So the core movement of the game is basically done at this point. One more thing I would like to add is sprinting, I think. Although I'm not sure. I just might up the default walking speed that is shown here. I might just up that instead of adding sprinting, because a lot of the older games, you just moved at a flat rate. There was no sprinting. Doom, you didn't sprint. Walking diagonally moved you slightly faster, I believe. In Painkiller, you just kind of ran all the time. Same in classic Doom. There was a slow down thing, which is kind of what my crouch is doing. Painkiller and Doom, as far as I remember, don't have crouching. I might be wrong on that, but I don't think they do. I think OG Doom from 93 used control to shoot, so it definitely didn't have control to crouch like I do. I might also add C to crouching, depending on how I feel about that, because I know a lot of people prefer C. I prefer control, but that's just a personal taste thing, so I might add it as either an option, or I just might have it default be both. Um, but back to the event graph, the jump and crouch, labeled more complex movement, they're actually not complex. Basic movement is way more complex. Um, I guess that's just kind of how Unreal works. Unreal has jump and crouch built in, which I think is cool. I like that. It's very nice to have. Um, that way I don't have to code in jumping or anything like that. And if I want to, I didn't do that right. Anyway, there should be a way somewhere over here. It's probably character movement. Let's see. There's max walk speed. There's max walk speed while crouched. Gravity scale. There's all sorts of different things in here. Jump Z velocity. I don't really know what that means. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of options for jumping and falling in here, which is what I'll be messing with to get jumping to feel right, I'm sure. There's also advanced, which I don't necessarily know what that means. I think I might have to actually up the mass of the character itself. That might be something I have to do. 40 centimeters, wow, okay. I didn't know that things in Unity were, or not Unity, Unreal were measured in centimeters, but that's interesting to know. So yeah, I think I have most of the basic movement done, or all of it at this point, because I have basic movement with WASD. I don't think I have controller support. I'll have to test that, and then I have more complex movement in jumping and crouching. This is camera control with the mouse, and this is just the red reticle that shows up here. That's all that is. So that's not anything special. But yeah, this is just devlog number 2, and my next steps as of this moment, as of recording this, are to build like a little playground area where I can test out these things and mess with them properly. Because this demo level map as it is now, just a flat plane, it doesn't really let me test crouching or jumping. I can crouch and jump, but there's no like way to measure the height. So like I don't have like a boulder or a platform to jump up onto to see if I can make it as high as I want, or crouching to see if I'm as low as I want to be. Things like that. Because I might want to make the character crouch lower than they currently do. Also, if you're curious, the reason I decided to not have a main character model, I guess, is so that technically you're playing as whoever you want to. I don't need to have character selection between male, female, or whatever. I can just have the character because you don't see them. It could be male, it could be a female character, it could be an alien, it could be an animal. Like it's completely up to whoever's playing. It could be Bigfoot. But that's what I wanted to do. That was my process behind the lack of any character model here. Like the only model, well, I just did air quotes, that was stupid. The only model you have to go off of is the weapon here, which is, well, exactly what I wanted. It's kind of like old Doom, where you don't really see Doom Guy ever. You see his face in the bottom, but that's kind of it. Like there's no body for Doom Guy, at least as far as you can see while you're playing. You don't see him. Even in the new Doom, you don't really see his body. You do when you die, but that's because they made it really fancy and cool. I'm not going really fancy and cool. I just have this weapon, and that is the character. And my reasoning behind that is so that players can play as whoever they want in their mind. They're not playing as a specific look or specific person. I will have noises in there eventually, hopefully, that kind of show like, oh, you took damage or different things like that, or you're jumping. Like more like grunts. They're not going to be anything more than that. I just need to make them neutral sounding, so like anything could theoretically make these noises, or just make them wacky, like a frog ribbiting. I'm not going to do that, but I theoretically could. Um, but yeah, that's all for this devlog. Just wanted to keep people up to date with what I'm doing. These aren't going to be an everyday occurrence. I just wanted to publish this, um, so that it could show that more complex movement isn't actually more complex. It's actually way less complex than you think it is. Um, and to show that this is going to be the basic movement of the game. There's not going to be much more than jumping, crouching, and walking around, at least as of the demo level, or what I'm thinking the demo level will look like. Um, there's just no need for more than that right now. If there will be more than that, I'll add it and put it in a devlog. Devlogs from now on will probably be, hey, I've hit a major milestone, like having a playground. Like once that's all built up and it's in a suitable place, I'll show that off and show what that's kind of like. Once I have enemy models, because those will have models. Once I have enemy models, I'll show that. I'll show the weapon being used. I'll show sound effects, like things as I hit major milestones. So it might not be it might be a while until there's another devlog after this one. So just be aware of that. I will still be posting on Game Jolt, however. That will be for everything. That will be a general, hey, here's what I'm doing. I will also be posting on my Facebook page for the studio. Not really a studio, it's literally me in my office. But I'll be posting on the Facebook page, on the Game Jolt. I'll be posting on my Twitter. Devlogs I want to reserve, or video devlogs I want to reserve for more, not important, just more show off things. Because, like, as I'm working on building the level, I can't, I don't want to show off like a half finished level. So I'll just show it off, or show off the playground when it's fully complete, instead of like when I add a rock or when I add some platform to jump onto. I'm not going to make a new video devlog about that because that's not really a big thing to show. I thought this was big enough to show because I added this whole section here and got it working. And it required I add a spring arm, this technically is, and put the camera and the weapon on it. Um, that's what I did to get the crouch working, because otherwise it was an instant crouch, or if I tried to smooth it with a timeline, it would make the whole level like flicker in and out of existence, which looked bad. So I didn't keep that. And someone showed me a video of someone adding a spring arm to the camera, or putting the camera on a spring arm, and that solved the crouching thing. Then the crouch looked smooth, and the level didn't flicker in and out like crazy. So that's what I did, and well, it's obviously working. So yeah, there might not be a devlog for a while, but I'll still be posting on Facebook, Twitter, and GameJolt, and I will catch you in devlog number 3 whenever I feel there's something ready for it. So goodbye for now, and once again, this was Harrison Bird with Eternity's Requiem, working on Project Torment.